In the parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to 30, we see the three servants. So their boss is going away. It says in the rendering in Luke that he's going to get a kingdom. Just going for a bit of a business trip, going to pick up a kingdom while I'm there. While I'm away, you get 5 talents. In the rendering in Luke, it says pounds, but it's money. It's not like he's giving them the ability to play the fiddle, the ability to do the Running Man, the ability to, I don't know, play piano, write poetry. No, he's not giving them that, although we can use it as a metaphor for that. He's actually giving them money. And so he gives 5 to one of his servants, he gives 2 to another of his servants, and he gives 1 to the other servant. And then he comes back from his business trip and he goes, "How'd you go, boys? What do we got?" And the guy that he gave 5 to comes back and he goes, "Look what I got. I got 10 now." It's fantastic. That's awesome. You're the man. And the guy that he gave 2 to came back with 5. And he goes, "Ripper, that's awesome. You too, you've done a good job." And the guy that he gave 1 to came back and he said, "Oh, I was pretty scared and didn't want to lose it, so I just dug a hole in the ground and I put it in there because I know you're a scary guy. You're a scary boss, and I know, like, you have like all this power and stuff, and so I just didn't want to upset you, so I just put it in the ground, kept it safe there, and so when you came back, you could get it back again." Sounded like a great idea to me. He goes, "You're a wicked and unfaithful servant. Why didn't you put it in the bank and at least get, like, what's the interest rate these days? Like 1%? At least you could have got something for it. Instead, I come back and it's the same as when I left it with you." But the one that made 10, if we see in Matthew chapter 25, verse 21, he says to the Lord, the boss, he says to the one that made double of the 5, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Faithful. He was faithful to what he was asked to do. The boss had given him instruction to do something with this money. He had done the same to the one that got 2 and the one that got 1. But this one that, he said it to both the one that made an extra 5 and the one that made an extra 3. He said, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord." Because he was faithful over a few things, he then blessed him with bigger things. In Luke chapter 19, verse 17, the same story, different rendering. It says, "Well, thou good and faithful servant, thou hast been faithful in very little. Have thou authority over 10 cities." He gives him 10 cities. Remember, this guy went on a business trip, and what did he pick up while he was out? Just picked up a lazy kingdom. Went down the road, got a kingdom, came back. Here you have 10 cities. Be faithful in the little, and God will make you faithful in the much. Amen? It may seem very small what God has given you, but be faithful in it. Do something with it. Don't waste it. Don't hide it in the ground and be scared to use it. But use what God has given you, as little as it may be, for His glory, for His kingdom, for His purpose. Amen? And you will see God bring an increase.